Hi, Cancer. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Hope you're having a great New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I'm actually recording this on New Year's Eve. Yes, I'm a workaholic. So, up on your screen, I have the 2025 year ahead planetary alignments and degrees. Um, First off, I have the direct and retrograde dates for Mars. As you can see, you're highlighted because this is going to affect you. The three Mercury retrogrades in the year of 2025. Venus retrograde, because usually Venus does not retrograde, but this year it does. And then the nodal axes will be switching signs after about 2 years. And then these are the primary transits, ingresses, and retrogrades, detailed the major aspects. And I will go into January in full because this is January 2025 and year ahead. And then the rest of the year, I will only be touching on the major alignments that will affect you because I will try to stay with the main three themes of the year. So that's May and June. And you can, stop the video and take a screenshot so you can match it to your natal chart to see if any of these degrees hits your chart. September, October, November, and December. And the last thing, I'm not going to do an intro, a general intro. I'm going to jump straight into your sign because there's a lot to cover. And if I will be speeding up the video, so the sound will be speeding up to save time and space because I'm working with a generic video editor, so I can't really go over an hour that much. So if it's too fast for you, just click on the tools icon on the video and you can slow it down. So we are going to jump straight into your sign now, Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So the year 2025 has three themes or three major themes, and I've labeled them as the very recent past slash present. Then we'll be thrust into a very exciting future, and then the latter half of the year we will be going back to the past. To get a reprieve from all the excitement that we'll be dealing with in the summer, and also back for reconcilements, resolutions, a new way forward, because we don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. So, but you guys, please don't freak out. Like, oh no, we're not going back to that again. No, we're not. It's going to be a different world, a different you. But it's important to go into the future with your entire heart. Because after the planets retrograde, then they go forward into these new signs permanently, and you don't want to go into the future with luggage. The saying, if you hold on to both, you lose both. So that's God in his wisdom. The universe is there's a reason planets go back and forth over certain degrees, because that needs to be released, reconciled, or a new way forward with that, so that the future, you don't hinder your own future. And then, like I said, the future will encompass your career status, friends, something that you've been working on in the past, research, your faith, and then joint finances, inheritance, and all that good stuff. Then, like I said, we'll go back to the past, which involves your ninth house of foreigners, higher education, and public publishing. Again, your friends, your partnerships, and joint finances. So, regarding the very recent past, present, I'm talking specifically about Mars and Pluto. Mars has been in your sign, went in your sign at the end of September, and has now been retrograding. Now, when Mars entered your sign, you had had an urgency about you. There was something that you put the heat on, and that could have manifested in some heated arguments and assertiveness, um, and you could have had some hiccups with maybe partners, lovers, assistants, um, authority figures, maybe children even. Um, and then Mars left your sign and entered your money sector, your second house of uh, job, income, and your value system. And you probably spent a lot, or maybe you feel that you lost money, um, or something about your job. Maybe your job had you working quite a lot, where you were maybe aggravated about that, or you might have started a new job, um, or you might have ended a job. Okay, and something also regarding a lover, a romance, or a child was involved with Mars being in Leo. Now, Mars in Cancer, when it was Mars in Cancer, it came dead smack against Pluto, a very very powerful opposition. It was exact on November 3rd, but it had been applying um, since September, maybe even August, September, October, and it came to a heated moment on November 3rd. Some of you might have experienced it before. Some of you might have experienced it after. But an opposition, there's good oppositions and there's challenging oppositions. Mars is the ruler of Aries. He is the god of war and going forward. Mars does not know anything but going forward. Mars is like, oh, you want that? Okay, let's go get it. And it goes for it. Mars is fearless. Pluto is the god of destruction. Pluto is the god of the underworld, the taboo, um, and riches and things like that. Now, when these two oppose each other, like I said, Mars is fearless. It doesn't matter if it's a gigantic dragon or if it's even a little puppy. It just rambles over. And Pluto said, "Well, okay, you want it? Come at me. I got you. Let's go." Because Pluto has a lot more confidence. Pluto is much much more stronger. Now, because of this opposition and because it was so explosive or challenging, there could have been breakups, um, endings, and it could have involved family um, and children, but definitely a partner of some kind. Now, it could have been an intimate partner, or it could have been a business partnership, or maybe even a platonic partnership, or it could have been anyone really who holds up a mirror to you, who knows you really well, is considered a partner. And if you did not experience this yourself, then you definitely experienced it through someone else. And if it was family, it could have been maybe uh, a sibling, a cousin, or a child, or something like that. Now, for other Cancerians, this Mars Pluto opposition could have been very, very exciting. Maybe a new relationship, like opposites attract, and it was like, whoa. um, and that might have blossomed. So a new relationship, a new engagement, or maybe a new marriage, or something like that. Now, we're going to the dust storm that this created. The We went into, then, like I said, Mars went into Leo, and you started spending a lot, or something about your job, like I said. But then, regarding this Mars in your sign and Pluto in Capricorn, your seventh house of relationships, the seventh house is also the house of open enemies. So you could have had it out with a powerful enemy, maybe. In any case, we went into December with a new moon in Sagittarius, but that first week we started with like a compromise or a discussion about this fallout, this dust storm. And then there was another discussion regarding a compromise around Christmas or the solstice. And then at the end of December, which is the new moon in Capricorn, which the 30th today, even New Year's Eve, there's maybe an unspoken new way forward regarding this opposition, or a new opportunity. Sorry, a new opportunity that is being discussed about a new way forward, or you're hoping and maybe seeding a new way forward regarding this fallout, because it is important to you. It is your partnership house, and you've gone through the hell that God, that Pluto and Capricorn took us all through for the past 18 years. And really, Pluto was showing you how to harness own power and control in a partnership. And you could have been a power couple and still are. For those of you who are solid as a rock, this will make you even stronger. Um, or, you could have been one half of the power couple, or your partner could have been very powerful. And for others who have broken up, you just felt that they were too manipulative, controlling, um, maybe narcissistic. Even some of you will even say evil. I'm not laughing. I'm sorry. It's just it's a heavy journey for you, so I'm not laughing. But that is in the rear view mirror now, Cancer, because I know you guys are super super sensitive, and I think it's you that says you'll forgive but never forget. And Scorpio is like, I'll forget only when I get revenge or something like that. So that brings us to the new to January. On January 2nd, Mars. Oh, by the way, when Mars went retrograde in Leo in December, some of you could have actually found uh, money stashed, or maybe your efforts during when it was going direct in Leo, you could have stashed some money, made some extra money that you were rewarded during the retrograde. But for others, it was about the retrograde period might have been about losing some money, or going over the books to see what's going on. And again, it might have been about a new job, or leaving an old job. Now, Mars is still retrograde as we enter the new year, and it is still in Leo, your second house of money and job, and it is going to oppose Pluto again. Sad to say, and we've felt this the last week of December. These last couple of days before the second, we're feeling it because it's an applying um, opposition. So Mars will be in Leo, your second house of money and job, and it will headbutt Pluto. But Pluto will be in Aquarius now, which is your eighth house of joint finances, the mortgage, um, intimacy, inheritance, taxes, any government benefits, or any money that you receive from others in lump sums. That's the eighth house. So naturally, if you did have a breakup, you are now fighting it out regarding joint finances, especially if a child is involved. Okay. Or if, like I said, if it was an exciting new beginning with a new partnership, engagement, new marriage, or what have you, you naturally will butt heads or what have you about merging uh, your finances. Or the eighth house could be sex. So there might be a lot of sex going on. Who knows? Um, but Mars is retrograde, so Mars does not like going retrograde. It's like drudging through. It manifests in frustration, and the only thing is because on the 6th, a few days after that, Mars is retrograding in Leo. It'll retrograde back into your sign, and it will retrograde in your sign, and then go forward. So it spends like almost January through March in your sign, and then it'll go again direct in Leo. Um, Now, again, this is the hint: is Mars usually doesn't retrograde every year, and this time it's in your sign and Leo for a good 6 months. That's huge, and it's going over back and forth over those same degrees. So there's something there that's very important to be resolved, reconciled, and and what have you. And when it first ran through your sign and Leo, uh, instincts, the first instincts were heat and action, and there were some mistakes made. So now it's regressing over those signs to fix those mistakes, because you want what you want. Everybody wants what they want, but as far as you're concerned, in your sign and your money sector, you want what you want. But the universe is saying, well, you need to fix these things, and then when it goes direct in your sign and in Leo, then you get what you want. But during this period when it's retrograde, the more you push, the harder the pushback. So I just caution you on that. Um, with this opposition, um, and when Mars is retrograde and Pluto is so powerful, my suggestion and advice is self-restraint and discipline, pure discipline. Okay. um, because then we have a full moon in your sign on the 13th. And that is a powerful full moon. Now, that full moon will actually give you a sneak peek or a glimpse of when Mars starts going forward in your sign. Just before it goes forward, when it's retrograding and then it starts going forward, it gives you a sneak peek of how which way forward you'll be going. um, or it'll give you like a theme, a flavor of it. And then, like I said, Mars will go direct in Leo in April and May. So anything that was reversed in December regarding your money situation or a job will again be reversed, and it'll go in the final way it should in April and May. And that could have, like I said, involved also a lover or a child or a romance, because Leo rules the fifth house of love and romance. Okay, but it is also your money house. So it could be also something about values with you. And then I know Mars being in your sign is not really very comfortable because you're very sweet and nurturing and sensitive, very sensitive. But actually, Mars being in your sign, use it, take advantage of it, because you can get a lot done. So the other note that I want to just caution you on is, um, because it's in your first sign, it's your first sign of your physical you, and your appearance or profile. So some of you might be going through like physical changes with your body. Maybe some of you got pregnant. Maybe some of you are going through like menopause or something like that. Or you could have had, God forbid, some like accidents where it was a physical thing. So when it goes retrograde, maybe you're slowing down to take care of that or researching that. But again, when Mars is going retrograde, be careful about any physical appearance, any physical changes. If you're doing plastic surgery, um, or weight loss, those weight loss pens things, just be careful, because it's retrograde. When it goes direct, you might just hate it, or you might encounter health issues. I'm not saying it will. I'm just covering all bases. Okay, so that is what Mars is doing. Okay, and to wrap that up, in January is, after that full moon in your sign on the 16th, we will have the Sun in Capricorn oppose Mars in your sign retrograde. So the Sun, this is not the same energy as Mars versus Pluto. This is a different kind of energy. Some are challenging, some are good, and this can be a good opposition. The Sun is illuminating something about your partner. Your partner is coming forward and discussing with you what their angst was. And again, partners can be anybody. And then on the 23rd, Mercury in Capricorn will oppose Mars in your sign again. So if you, uh, from the 16th, when your partnership is illuminated, on the 23rd, there will be a discussion, agreement, um, consent, something going forward. And it is coming from your partner, who is actually communicating to you what they felt during when Mars was in your sign at 23 degrees. So you can look up 23 degrees back in October and see what happened then. I didn't put the date in it, but it was probably in October. So you can always Google Mars in Cancer 23 degrees in October, and then pull up your text and whatever and match it, and you'll know what conversation you had. The other thing in January that happens, yay, finally, is the nodal axes will leave Aries and Libra and will enter Pisces and Virgo. Now, for the past 2 years, 18 months, uh, the North Node has been in Aries, which is a very individualistic sign, fire sign, of course, and just loves freedom. And the South Node was in Libra, and Libra is all about relationships and partnerships. It is lost without a relationship or a partnership. Generically, I don't want any Librans to get mad at me. And for you, a tug of war or a push pull was between your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures, and your fourth house of home, family, parents, um, and your physical house. So in the past 18 months, the last 2 years has been really tough for you guys with a lot going on with partners and family and career. So something that you wanted your freedom in regarding your status or your career or reputation uh, kept being bogged down by a situation regarding your family, and you were torn between these two. Um, what we know and we're very comfortable in is the south node, and what the north node is saying is you need to release that. You've already mastered the south node. You need to concentrate on the north node. So for you, you are a master in the fourth house. You rule the fourth house. You're all about home, family, and food, home and hearth. And your challenge was to be independent of that regarding your career and status. And eclipses have been going down to get you to that place. And and on the 11th, when the nodes change signs, there will either be a realization or an ending of this situation. Like I said, some of you may have been broken up or are in the midst of that. And please don't think that this is a surprise. I don't want you guys freaking out. You've known about this. um, or it or you guys are solid as a rock, and when the nodes change signs, that codependency, that neediness that was regarding your family will disappear. So you'll have the best of both worlds. You'll have the relationships and the partnerships regarding your fourth house of home and family, and you'll also be thrust into your career zone of and enjoying freedom in that. Okay. And again, it might be just mundane about your fourth house regarding the ending. It might be just you're moving places or renovation. Stuck renovation of a house completes by then, or it doesn't. You don't even give a damn anymore about the repetitiveness of that. In any case, when they move into Pisces and Virgo, Pisces is your ninth house of foreigners, foreign countries, travel, it's long distance travel, higher education, publications, publishing, and the World Wide Web. And a lot of you, most of you, are in the education field. Most of you are teachers, professors, or students, and you might be in different phases of the higher education realm. You might be, writing your doctorate's thesis or master's, um, or you could be you could have been in nursing, and with nursing, it's always about a lot of different lexicon altogether, and that might have been challenging. And or certifications, you might be like going through certification process. In any case, um, that's the north node will enter Pisces, um, and then the south node will enter Virgo, which is your third house of communications and thinking. This is how you think, where you think. um, Siblings, cousins, the neighborhood. It could be about vision, eyesight, believe it or not, and language, or your need to be heard. And social media is also included in the third house. Now, with the so there will be a tug of war between these two areas of your life for the next 18 months or so. And it could be simply that what you have been learning with the ninth house regarding foreigners or higher education, you'll have a learning curve or a learning process of how to communicate that. Maybe you're becoming a teacher or something like that, and it'll take these 18 months to perfect that, or find maybe a career in that field or something like that. But if you want to know, get a clue about what this next 18-month nodal axis push and pull tug of war will be about, think back to the September eclipse we had in Pisces, and it was opposing Virgo. I think it was September 13, 14, 15, something like that. And I also have a September video. You can look on my channel and listen to that if you wanted to. But that's your clue there. So that wraps up January. Okay, I wanted to do the full January thing, and those are the main themes. Now I will go into how we're going to be thrust into the future and I'll go over the main year 2025 aspects. So the next surprise and major shift will be Neptune and Saturn will leave Pisces. And sorry, that's my pug. And there's these neighbors that, well, I'm on Main Street, so when people walk by, they see him, they bark at him, and he gets all riled up, my baby. So sorry about that. So yeah, Neptune and Saturn will leave Pisces and they will enter Aries. Okay, and that's huge because Neptune has been in Pisces since Valentine's Day 2012, 14 years, a long, long journey. And that has been your ninth house, or is your ninth house, which is, again, your house of long distance travel, education, publishing. And I've already discussed the different scenarios that you might be in regarding that. Okay. And it has been an escape for you. It has been very romantic, or it's been idealized somehow. It's been like a vacation for you. Okay. But the last 2 years, 2.5 years, since March 2023, April 2023, until about September of last year, um, Saturn came into Pisces as well, and and just ruined the party. Put a damper on things. Uh, Actually, I shouldn't say that. Saturn is actually really misunderstood. Saturn is super, super beneficial. It actually allows you to enjoy things without losing things. And in the beginning, the first year especially, Saturn puts up these boundaries and restrictions and withholds things from us only because he's building this structure, this foundation for you. The second year is a little bit easier with Saturn, but he's still trying to make sure the lessons you learn about boundaries and foundations are still installed. So because your ninth house journey has been such a dreamy, idealistic journey for you, Saturn had came in and threw in an anchor for you to pull you back from the vast, wide ocean that Neptune rules, because you could have gotten lost in this idealism, and it pulled you back to shore and and woke you up to the realities of being too lost in this world, and how you can have that world, but you need to have boundaries. Um, so that's what Saturn has been doing. But I'm sure a lot of you have had a rough, rough journey with that first year, especially 2023. Um, and the other thing is because you might have felt it was rough, is because we had the nodal axes fighting it out between Aries and Libra. Um, and that is your career. And your career, like I said, might have been in education, or it could have been somehow restricted by Saturn, who's Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So again, because you had this tug of war between your career and your family, and you had power and control issues with a partner, you know, it could have all merged, and that's why you probably would never want 2023 back. Um, but you get a reprieve from that because it has been such a journey. You Neptune will enter Aries, and Aries is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, authority figures, and the such. And you will something will be idealized here. Something will be very romantic about it. Um, a vision is romanticized here of your career, or about an authority figure or something like that. And there's two camps of you, of cancers. One camp of you will really buy into this, and you'll be all googly eyed, and another camp will just think there's something fishy about it. Not to play on words, since it's Neptune, fishy. Get it, Pisces? uh, but um, but what Neptune is trying to do is trying to soften the way you look at career, because cancers can be, like I said, quite sensitive, but you guys are fierce. You're very fierce, and you might and practical, and care about money and security a lot. So you might be giving up a career because it's practical, and Neptune is trying to, make you see the other side of career. That it could be romantic either way, and just when you're enjoying that vacation, that escapade, that escape, um, Saturn comes in a few weeks later and lays down the law. um, but yeah, for the next couple of years, he pulls again. He gives you an anchor. He pulls you back and just helps you put up boundaries regarding your career status and reputation and authority figures. That um, just to keep yourself. He helps you with keeping yourself beyond reproach or trusting too much of authority figures, because Neptune and Aries can manifest in romanticizing um, the warrior or war, or the really hard male energy, which is fine. That's fine as well, because I believe men have been given the wrong end of the stick for the past. Uh, well, I won't get into politics. In any case, Neptune will idealize the male, so like the compassionate warrior or the hero or Robin Hood. Um, it'll idealize that, and you might idealize these authority figures in your 10th house of career, which is not a bad thing. But Saturn is just, it's not like Pluto. It doesn't destroy. Saturn just withholds and helps you build structure and helps you put up boundaries, is what I'm saying. And for the probably the first decan of you guys, it will square Cancer. And again, your clue to how this square will work, how this tense aspect will work for you, try to remember the push and pull you had between your career and status and your fourth house of family. So the nodal axes that were between Aries and Libra. That's your clue. Plus, Pisces is Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So ninth house of travel and education and publishing might be in the mix. And this square might be just tying up loose ends as you publish something, or as you graduate, or as you move on to the next point of your career. Another clue, because it's a tense aspect here, is if you ever have a problem with your with your, okay, the first like five houses, six houses is houses that you control. The other houses are opposite those. It's the houses you can't control. So if you have a problem in your seventh house of partnerships, you don't fix that because you can't fix other people. You'll go down a rabbit's hole. What you do is you look to your first house, to yourself. You fix yourself, because you might be projecting onto a partner things. So, for example, if a partner is disrespecting you, it means that you're disrespecting yourself. If a partner is really loving and complimenting you, it's because you respect yourself and you love yourself, and so on and so forth. So if you have a problem, for example, in your 10th house, you look to your fourth house of home and family and fix that. And once you do that, you'll see your 10th house unravel of restraints and restrictions. And the next 2 years, Saturn will help you do that. Okay. And then the next thing that'll thrust us into the future is Uranus. We'll be changing signs from Taurus to Gemini. And Uranus is the planet of shock, surprise, electricity. It's very forward thinking and futuristic. And it has been in Taurus, which is your 11th house of a friend, friends, groups, circles, and associations. It can even be something like a gym membership. And Gemini is your 12th house of the past, of secrets, of behind the scenes, of any confining spaces. Drug and alcohol use is also prevalent here, or taking care of someone. Uh, okay, so the past 7 years, you've had, may I say, dare I say, exciting surprises with friends and groups and circles, and what you. And the 11th house also covers your hopes, wishes, and dreams of the future. So, where you thought you were going with friends or your visions of the future has completely 180'd. Uranus has picked you up and twisted you and shifted you. So you might have um, lost friends in this last 7 year journey, because of just you don't do unique and you don't do abrupt. And you, like I said, you really care a lot about family, and siblings and cousins, so that even your friends are considered like family. But if there's any any threats coming at family or whatever, you'll cut people off. Like I said, you are fierce. So you might have lost some friends, you might have withdrawn from groups, or some circles might have you know uh, exported you to say, to give you an idea. But this journey is coming to an end, and there might be a couple more surprises and shifts regarding your 11th house of friends and groups. um, but once it goes into Gemini, which is your 12th house, there's two camps here. One will be, if you guys have any secrets or doing anything behind the scenes or something like that, be really really careful, because Uranus is emotionless and sort of uh, abruptly reveals that. So it could be someone finding your diary, or a couple of pictures go online of your past, or a tweet that you might have tweeted, um, or or they can be sudden things that happen regarding your 12th house. So just be careful of drugs or alcohol. And I know you guys, are not criminals or anything, but the 12th house is the house of confinement. So please be careful of doing anything illegal. I don't want you guys ending up in jail. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm laughing with you, Cancer. Please, it's New Year's Eve. I have no one. I'm alone, and I'm working. But in any case, yeah, well, Uranus does that. So just this is my warning. Is just be careful of secrets and alcohol and drugs and anything that might get you in legal troubles. Otherwise, Uranus can be very enlightening. You get those aha moments, like when you rediscover something in your past that has made you be this way. And the last year, you have been enjoying your alone time, enjoying thinking about the past and releasing things. And you might have been into yogas and, excuse me, meditation, or some of you have been actually studying astrology and tarot, or the supernatural, what have you. But this is where you start to get your aha moments, or you go on this journey. So your clue to what this next 7-year journey of Uranus and Gemini is the past year, when Jupiter was in Gemini and your 12th house of secrets. The other thing is, some of you could be starting a romance in secret, and it could be you turn a friend into a lover in secret. Why in secret? It's the 12th house. No astrologer really knows what goes on in your 12th house. I know that's a good cop out way of telling you I don't know. No, no, it's actually true. We really can't see in the 12th house. So those are the different scenarios. I just wanted to touch on those. But regardless, the instability you have been feeling about friends and groups, that ends. And then you're on to a new journey. Okay, then yay, the good stuff starts. I mean, it's not all bad until this, but it's actually very exciting. But the feel good, starts when Jupiter enters your sign, Cancer, and it is during the summer months, and you rule the summer months. It's the months of abundance and happiness and joy, um, and it doesn't take so much effort for family to get to be together and all that. So when Jupiter enters your sign, there could be love, romance. You could be graduating. There could be um, sibling get-togethers and renewals, or things like that. But since, like I said, Jupiter was in Gemini and you were working behind the scenes, it could have also included something about a sibling, because siblings and cousins, Gemini rules siblings and cousins. So now that Jupiter will be in your sign, maybe you're showcasing your work about them or helping them out. But it really is about you. And there is a new moon on June 25 too. So with Jupiter in your sign and this new moon in your sign, wow, that's going to be big. It's like your coming out party. It's really really nice. And think back to 12 years ago when Jupiter was in Cancer. It'll be the same kind of thing. Not other planets were doing other things, but regarding this largesse, this expansion, just when Jupiter was in Cancer 12 years ago, that'll be the same theme. And it will include like a new vigor, plans that you've been working on in secret, or in the past year, It'll be very joyous, and you'll feel really, really magnanimous. Jupiter is, the Roman god of luck and optimism, and Caesar, and, and things like that. So you'll be very magnanimous, and you'll have some kind of a fortune or fame associated to you. You can even will feel that in social media, maybe, but definitely with family, friends, partners, and romance. Now, some of you can be, get pregnant, and you'll expand. But so there. Besides that, when Jupiter is in your sign, there is the potential of weight gain. For others, it can be weight loss. It can work in reverse. But something about your physical appearance, so hair, wardrobe, jewelry, profile, appearance, like selfies, you'll be all into that, social media. Um, and you will change because we have this new moon in conjunct with Jupiter. So definitely physical change. Like you might be, you might have been like the black dress kind of business attire. You'll see yourself going into pastels and whites and things like that. And like I said, jewelry. You might really like jewelry and a new hairstyle. But your physical appearance is set to change. Besides you being this magnanimous, joyous person, um, then we have also in these summer months, Uranus will be sextiling your sign, which is fantastic because there's new opportunities regarding, like I said, friends or friends from the past or new friends. Um, and again, your 12th house, when Uranus enters Gemini, you'll have these new opportunities, new ideas, revelatory, like I said, an aha moment. And it might include something about your career. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Then we have Venus and Mercury that'll enter your sign. And then Leo, your second house of money. So June, July, and August are absolutely super for you, Cancer. It's almost like you get a new lease on life, or you unveil this new you, and it will. And because it's Venus too, it's like fame, fortune, and love and romance is all in the mix and being presented to you on a silver platter. This is really huge, and it's really, really nice for you, and you deserve it. You're sweet. You have gone through a lot with Venus coming into Leo. Because when Mars goes direct into Leo, you will just be careful about spending again money, but you will be making more money, and Venus attracts money. So when Venus is in Leo, you should buy a dollar lotto ticket, not more, and do not gamble. um, but yeah, those summer months, and you will be overwhelmed because with Jupiter in your sign, people do tug a lot at you, and because you are the center of home, um, you rule home. Family will be all tugging at you, and extended family, and all that. So you'll be exhausted, but it'll be the good exhaustion. Okay, and then we will go back to the past to wrap up and reconcile or resolve things that were left, maybe hanging on a string, or some things that were some mistakes that we regret, um, or if, like I said, if everybody, if some of you are solid, still there is this stickling issue from the past, and that starts us off with Neptune going regress, retrograding in Aries. So you're going to review this career infatuation that you'll have, this idealism, and then it retrogrades all the way back into Pisces and your ninth house of travel and education. And I forgot to mention, once Saturn leaves Pisces, if you ever like were wanting to travel, or even wanted to finish up your education or what have you, when Saturn leaves Pisces, you will get that. You will be traveling more and doing all that. So maybe this retrograde back into Pisces, you're just going for your commencement, graduation, or preparing for that, or you might be uh, thinking about making concrete plans about travel because you have been talking about that, or maybe you have even been traveling in the months that Saturn left Pisces. But then again, Saturn also joins Neptune back into Pisces. But Saturn is not is not going to be like he was in the first when he first entered Pisces. He's not going to have those harsh restrictions. See, what Saturn does is says, okay, do you really, really want this? If you really want this, I'm going to withhold these things. I'm going to give you these obstacles to overcome. And what Saturn does is says, and what your reply is when you go through these trials and tribulations is you say, yes, I really want this in spite of the hard work. I really want, I want this good with the bad. I can do, I want that. And that's when Saturn rewards us. So these few months in the latter half of the year, you get to tie that up, and you get those rewards that you want after we resolve a couple of things over those last degrees. Maybe you're getting a degree at the end of the year, who knows? Or you might be going back to school. It can be as mundane as that. Or if you had travel restrictions, maybe your restriction on your passport or something like that might be lifted. Also, Uranus will go back into Taurus. So friends that you might have lost, or groups that you might have exited out of, you might be revisiting that, or a friend might come back to you to find resolution or be reconciled or what have you, because you will be very famous in the summer and very, magnanimous. Everybody will want to be around you. So maybe friends will be, a friend particular might be like, oh, please let me back in, something like that. All right, so that's how the year ends. Let me just see where I am in the video. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over some of the major aspects through 2025, um, before I end the video. And oh, the other thing that I did not touch on, but I will here briefly, is Pluto in Aquarius. As if you know, sorry, or if you don't know, Pluto left the Capricorn in late November, your partnership house, and entered the eighth house, or entered Aquarius, your eighth house, which is the house of sex, death, and taxes. Sex can mean sex, but it is really about intimacy, true intimacy, bearing your soul to the other, and it's about joint finances, and about lump sums of money that you gain from other people. It is about taxes, government benefits, inheritance, and like secrets, but like taboo secrets, experimenting in that. It's a Scorpio ruled house too. Um, so that change has happened for you. You are, uh, end of November, maybe even prior to that, you had some, either a group of friends, or a circle, uh, or a person that's very knowledgeable, or forward thinker. Now, if you were breaking up or separating, it could have been a lawyer that's helping you with this joint finances issue. Or if it's not, it might be just really unique, forward thinking people regarding maybe pooling your resources for a project. Um, if it's about inheritance, again, it could be your family and an administrator going through that. But I'm not going to discuss any more about Pluto and Aquarius. I just did tell you about that opposition between Mars in your second house of money and Pluto in Aquarius, your eighth house of joint finances. I discussed that in the beginning of the video. Uh, because I have completed a dedicated Pluto and Aquarius for each sign, which actually takes you 5 years into the future. Because it's a 20-year journey, and I just don't see the point of doing like a Pluto and Aquarius and just giving you like superficial, oh, this is what it means, or this is what I wanted to give you, like a 5 year look ahead at what you'll be experiencing. And I chose not to upload it, because I wanted to upload these year ahead forecasts first. So hopefully you're subscribed, and when I complete these year ahead forecasts, I will be uploading your 5 year ahead Pluto and Aquarius for each sign, and you'll get notified of that. Okay. So now let me just see. I'm just going to, oh, yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to mention that I did not was the Venus retrograde. Venus does not usually retrograde every year, but this year it does. So it's special. And Venus will be in Pisces, your ninth house of education and long distance travel, on January 2nd. And Venus brings us um, love, romance, fortune, fame, money, and all those good things. So you'll start experiencing this loveliness regarding your ninth house of travel and education starting January 2nd. Then on February 4th, a month later, Venus will enter Aries, and that is your career and status and reputation. So, like I said, maybe some of you are graduating or something like that. So you get your status is upgraded like that. Um, but then March 1st, Venus will retrograde in Aries, your 10th house of career and status. And it'll retrograde all the way back on March 27th into Pisces. And it will not go direct until April 12th in Pisces. So, whatever form fame or fortune you're getting in regarding your ninth house of travel and education, and then that's boosting your career. There's a snag regarding going forward with your career because there's an issue with your uh, um, travel and your higher education. So between March and April, you'll be fixing that snag, and then when it goes direct on April 12th is when you will be finally able to resolve it. And it might be just something mundane about not having filed something for school, or like I said, if you wanted to travel, maybe there was some kind of a restriction or you needed a visa or something like that. And then it goes direct. Venus goes direct in Aries on April 30th, and then on June 6th it goes direct. It enters Taurus, your 11th house of friends and groups. And um, so that I've mentioned that in that major thing in February. In March 30th, Neptune enters Aries. So I went through all that for you. Um, on April 18th is when Mars will go direct will enter Leo, your second house. It goes direct, I'm sorry. So those reversals that you had, and I've discussed Mars in Cancer and Leo at length. You'll see the forward way of going with that. The only thing is, we will have the third and final Mars versus Pluto on April 26th between Leo and Aquarius, so your second house and your eighth house of joint finances. So look to that. On May 24th, Saturn will enter Aries. I've discussed that. I've discussed June and all the good things with Jupiter and your new moon. July, I've discussed all that. Venus will enter your sign too. Woohoo! I discussed that too. On August 25th, Venus enters Leo. That is really awesome. It's your second house of your job and income. So you'll be seeing more money or a lucrative career, or maybe a new job with a lucrative career income. And then September, I already discussed that with Saturn re-entering Pisces. We have a total lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 7th, right after Saturn enters. So something regarding long distance travel, higher education and publication, it is eclipsed. And just it might be like graduation here, like I said, or you might have finished a job, or a book, or you start a publication, or you might end and you might go in a different avenue. But like I said, if you want to know, if you want a clue to what this is look to the September 14th, 15th eclipse that we had. I have the video for that. um, October, we see Venus in Libra. Your home sector will trine Uranus in Gemini, and Gemini is your 12th house of behind the scenes and the past. And then Venus in Libra will trine Pluto in Aquarius. This is absolutely lovely. Even when we're doing the latter half of the year, when we're reviewing, tying up loose ends, reconciling, finding resolution, you have these beautiful, powerful aspects between your home and family and the past and your joint finances. So for those of you who might have broken up, and but maybe just only separated, and maybe it was temporary, this might be the reconciliation that you're having, or it might be the resolution, the closure you're needing. Or again, if you're brand new in marriage, maybe your partner gets a raise, and this is really lovely, and you might be beautifying your home. You might be getting more furniture or renovating, or maybe even finding a new place. And then November, Uranus goes back into Taurus. That's when I mentioned that a friend might come back in your life. And then we have the Sagittarius and Scorpio season, which is your fifth house of love and romance and your sixth house of busyness and scheduling. And And December, we have Mars squaring Saturn in Pisces. Mars will be in Sagittarius, your sixth house of busyness, and then it'll square Neptune in Pisces. So whatever you're ending, this is good. Now, these squares are not bad. Whatever you're ending in your ninth house of travel and higher education or publishing, or if you're starting to travel or whatever, Sagittarius is your house of scheduling and routine. And there's Mars here, so heat and action. So you might be planning these trips or going on these trips, um, or something about publication. Maybe you're doing book signings, or it's December. Maybe some of you will be graduating here then. But Saturn, these outer planets, heavy duty planets like Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, when they exit a sign, they leave us a gift if we have surmounted um, what we have done. And even if we haven't, they reward us for the trials and tribulations that we've gone through. And Neptune has been there for 14 years, and Saturn is definitely the hard taskmaster that's been there for 2.5 years. But Saturn's rewards are huge. So yeah, look to the latter half of the year to find resolution, reconcilements, closures, um, and gifts all around. I believe next Christmas will be very happy, and especially next New Year's, because I know this New Year's nobody was feeling it. uh, but next New Year's will really exemplify what we've released of the past and going headfirst into the future. So, Cancer, hopefully you enjoyed this little montage. If you found it informative or at least entertaining, do consider if you're not into subscribing. I'd love for you to subscribe, but if you're not, just at least hit the like button. It really does help my channel, and I'm trying to like grow this channel because it's a part-time thing for me. But I would love to make it a full-time thing. So I'm reaching out to you guys to help me out in that. Okay, but only if you found it informative and entertaining. Okay, Cancer, take care. I hope for a very happy new year and a beneficial one for you.